Afternoon, everybody. Me again, Shannon Fox here, the What Patriots 2 channel. Just wanted to bring you some things going on today in the world. I'm mostly talking about Tom Homan and his deportation process, several things that have been implemented over the last day or two since these executive orders have happened, including the Coast Guard is shoring up the Texas coast, otherwise known as the Gulf of America, all the way to Florida and around. They're trying to stop anybody coming in through Cuba or from Cuba or any of those directions, Haiti or anywhere down that way, stopping them by boat if and helicopter if necessary. Coast Guard is out in full effect, and so many other things like that. I wanted to bring to y'all today. Just things I've read, a couple of clips I wanted to bring to y'all, things I thought were interesting and worth sharing. Now, first off, if you haven't heard, as of 5 p.m. today, which is about 2 hours from now, all uh, the DEI program people that worked in the federal government, they got to go. They're on paid administrative leave as of today. All these programs are to be shut down. All these things, processes are going to be terminated. And there is a huge, or pretty good sized list of all the things that need to be done effective immediately to just shut down these wasteful, stupid programs. Now, let's read a little bit about it, and then we'll get into some of the great things Tom Homan's doing today. Hope everybody's having a great day. Says huge Trump press secretary gladly confirms that all federal employees in DEI roles will be placed on leave as of 5 p.m. today. Will be eventually terminated. Says President Trump signed a memorandum placing all federal diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. Hadn't heard about the accessibility yet. Employees on administrative leave pending the termination of these programs under Trump's ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preference and initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and action executive order. And anything that Biden put into place to try to divide the people, it's out of there, especially the government funds it. Says, as the Gateway Pundit reported, this is one of the more than 40 executive actions aimed at restoring national sovereignty, economic prosperity, public safety, and racial equality, not equity, equality, which Trump signed immediately after going to the Oval Office. I love it. I love it. He has already taken the leader of the DEI Coast Guard commander, Admiral Linda Lee. She's gone. She put diversity over security and made it her priority. And there's a guy named Benjamin Huffman as well. He is Homeland Security, Secretary of the Homeland Security, right under Mayorkas. Well, he's gone too um, for several operation failures under his watch involving politics, of course. His political correctness, his wokeness, as we say. But as a matter of fact, Trump has fired 5 or 6 people that I've seen today, and he said he's got 1,000 more to do. But pending that all these DEI hires will be gone, the number may be a lot bigger than 1,000, and that may be 1,000 people right there. I wonder how embedded this DEI is in all our agencies. We're fixing to find out. Says the latest anti-DEI measure gives specific instructions to agency heads too close to DEI offices. A template emailed for employees provided to agency heads. These programs divided Americans by race, waste taxpayer dollars, and resulted in shameful discrimination. The memo gives the following instructions to agency heads to close the DEIA offices. Number one, no later than 5 o'clock Eastern Time, you're out. Uh, send an agency-wide notice to employees informing them, an email basically, asking all employees to effectively go home. Stop doing what you're doing, and stop trying to use efforts to disguise these programs by using coded and imprecise language. A template agency wide notice is attached to an appendix. They know some of these agencies have got these really quirky names that doesn't make them sound like DEI, but that's exactly what they are. So send a notification to all employees of DEI offices that they are being placed on paid administrative leave effective immediately. In steps to close the offices and programs, including to all contractors, We're going to take down all outward facing media as well. All the websites that promote that crap for these programs. Gotta go. And withdraw any final pending documents, directives, or orders, materials, and equity plans issued by the agency in response to this new executive action. Meaning anything you're in the middle of, in the process of, any of your brainwashing programs, that stuff's out. Cancel any DEI program related training and termination of any DEI related contractors no later than 12 Eastern Time. A complete list of DEI officers and any employees in those offices as of November 5th. We want documentation who it was, they're sent home, they're still getting paid, what did they do here, and do we still need them for anything at all in our government? I believe the answer is probably no. Says CBS White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe said on X, all federal employees in DEI roles have to be placed on leave. Blah, blah, blah. Programs are being ordered to shut down. To every reporter asking about this, I can gladly confirm it, says Miss Lovett, who is Trump's press secretary. Okie doke. A little repetitive in there. They didn't give me too much new information other than it's a done deal. I'm so glad. We won't have to see rainbow flags hanging in the Capitol anymore. That'll be awesome. Now, with all this immigration situation going on, the tide is turning. Not just at home, Tom Homan's getting to work. Trump's executive orders are going into action. We now have the military that's going to help since this the cartels have been on terrorist watch list, basically. We'll have the active military, Coast Guard, and active military on the border already as of yesterday. The minute the executive order was signed, it started happening quickly. Well, there's a lot of people that are pushing back. And so you have these issues with sanctuary cities, these governors that don't want to mind, these attorney generals like the one in Arizona says he's going to defy Trump's want to deport people. Well, in California, the people of Southern California are about sick of Gavin Newsom and his let's keep the migrants here and let's continue to call this a sanctuary city. So what happened today, there was a town hall meeting um, about sanctuary cityness. Says a California town pushes back against Newsom. City council votes unanimously to become non-sanctuary city. His duty to protect Californians will, if he fails to protect Californians, we will step up. Got a little short video clip here for you folks, I believe. Yes, yes, here we do. People are going to start helping Tom Homan. You're fixing to see just how much cooperation we're going to get from people that are disgruntled and pissed off about the whole immigrant situation. And no, they got immigrants living in their backyard or down the street, or Tom Homan's probably going to get more information than the agency can handle. And there's a hotline. I'm fixing to give you that as well if you just stick around, folks, in case there's any illegals in your town. It says breaking Huntington Beach, California became a non-sanctuary city. The city council is voting unanimously tonight, bucking Governor Newsom's sanctuary stance. 7-0. Made it happen.
Public safety is proactive. Imagine what would be being talked about here tonight if, say, Laken Riley or Jolene Nungery or Rachel Morin was a resident of Huntington Beach and and each one of them got raped and killed by illegal aliens. There would be a whole different argument going on in here by why weren't we proactive? And one other thing. We all up here sit, when we take our oath of office, we raise our hand and we swear to defend and uphold the Constitution of the United States. What the state of California is forcing down the throats of Huntington Beach and the citizens of Huntington Beach and the public officials of Huntington Beach, we're violating our oath. We are not being allowed to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. That's all I got to say.
And this went on for 7 minutes, 6.5 minutes, one right after another. They all just basically said the same thing in so many words. They feel like they're powerless to do anything about the illegal immigration problem up to this point. And now that we have Trump in there, these people want to cooperate. They're waiting on Tom Homan to show up. They want their border closed. They want law enforcement. They want CBP enforcement, not CBP1 apps. Things are changing, folks. They're going to desanction. There's probably going to be a lot of cities that decide they no longer want to be a sanctuary city because the money's not going to be there anyway. Trump's not going to fund that. Sanctuary cities get no extra money. That'll end pretty quickly. There will be a lot of governors that don't get that money and they won't give a crap about it. Says, let's watch Borders Czar Tom Homan says ICE has already started raiding illegals. Started immediately. Oh, I wanted to read this part to you. It says, by the number, President Trump's historic first day, 42 executive orders, memorandums, and proclamations, 115 personal actions, more than 200 executive actions, 60 minutes of press Q&A, 3 historic speeches, with more to come in tonight's 3 balls. Jeez. This includes several actions on the border policy designated the cartels of foreign terrorists, revoking Biden's EO on the border, and allowing unchecked illegal immigration. And he's got Tom Homan. He's got Stephen Miller for the policymaker. Got Kristi Noem and Tom Homan are going to enforce this as DHS Secretary and Borders are. And I am so ready. I think it's already started and it's going great, folks.
Based on your initial schedule, that today roundups of criminal illegal aliens in the process of deporting them would begin. That seems to have been put on hold for a little while. When can we expect that to happen? Where will it begin?
No, it started.
It is started.
ICE teams are out there as of today. We gave them the direction to prioritize public safety threats that we're looking for. So we've been working up the target list. There was some discussion about Chicago because the specific operational plan was released. So we had to look at and reevaluate, does this raise officer safety concerns? And it does. Mm-hmm. But we've addressed that, and teams are out there effective today.
So you ain't slowing nothing down. We're going to do it anyway. I love it. I love it. All right, here we go. Got several more short clips here for you. I wanted to bring y'all some stuff over here on the Twitter. It says, holy shit, this woman in Chicago said she is ready to help Tom Homan find and deport illegals. Whatever we have to do as Chicagoans to assist, we are ready and willing to help. Yeah, the Chicago residents are pissed.
Very confident. I am confident in this administration. I am confident in Tom Homan getting things done, and I am confident that the Chicagoans are going to step up. We're ready to assist in any way we can. There are those of us who are willing to work with this administration to make sure that people who are here illegally are sent back home. We want to also make sure that those criminals who came here to set up their criminal operations again are sent home. And so whatever we have to do as Chicagoans to assist with that, we're ready and willing to help.
Okay. Here is more.
Very confident. I am confident in this administration.
And you know, folks, this is just the beginning. People are going to get on the right side of this. There's going to be more people screaming, there's one right there. There's an organization that hires them. There's a politician that supports them. There's somebody harboring some. Now that this has started, I wonder how many people are going to catch felonies for not self-reporting or not reporting, say, the hired help. We may get some people really in a legal bind behind saying they're not going to let Tom Homan deport people. That may be the beginning of their criminal career. Who knows? Now, this here is a game changer. I do have to believe, and I am just glad to see it. A little short clip here for you. Tom Homan, fire-breathing dragon.
Absolutely. Look, the greatest president in my lifetime, he's back. Because in 2 days, the last 24 hours, total apprehensions on the southwest border, 766. Compare that to the 10 to 12,000 Biden had at one time. CBP1 releases, 0. CHNV, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela releases, 0. Total of 766 across the entire southwest border. That is a game
Wow.
changer. Absolutely. Look, the greatest president.
That's amazing, folks. We just went down from 10 or 12,000 a day to less than 1,000. That's amazing. What is that? Like 6%, 7% of the total, down by 93%. That's amazing. I want to read this to y'all. I found a few clips here. Or a couple of um, memes, tweets. I want to read to y'all. It says, "Attention, Mr. Holman, could you please send some illegal immigration raids, some ICE agents, to raid the business owner owned by Idaho State Representative Stephanie Mickelson?" Ooh, didn't know that. She has been bragging about how many illegals her businesses employ. Here's a list of the businesses to raid. It says, breaking report. Border Czar Tom Homan says that targeted illegal immigration raids are now underway across the country. So you see what's happening here, folks. You see the pattern? And here's going to be the solution coming right up, folks. Won't be long now. There it is, right there. It says, breaking news. Tom Holden, the border czar, warns that from New York to Massachusetts to California, a bunch of politicians are about to become felons. Try that sanctuary city crap after he puts out this mandate. It is a felony to harbor illegal aliens. Title 8 USC Section 1324. If you would like to report illegal aliens, please call Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. They will need to know names, locations, and either workplace or residence, and any other specific information you can provide. For more information, please visit www.ice.gov. 188 DHS to ICE. I love it. I love it. I'll leave that here a few seconds. If any of you want to write that down, oh, this could get interesting doing the tattletale game on the people that are harboring the illegals. This may get, I bet Tom Holman probably got more emails, responses, and phone calls today than their switchboard could probably handle. I love this, folks. This is actually maybe I'm enjoying this too much, but I am really looking forward to the changing of the guard that has just happened and the changing of the trajectory of our country. It says, breaking, Guatemala steps up big time with a crackdown of their own people trying to illegally transport people into America. So Guatemala is getting on board. The arrest of Guatemala Odilio Cinto Perez, the leader of the criminal group known as Genoveva, has been caught and arrested by Guatemalan authorities for her involvement in the illegal transportation of people into America. She, along with a few other people, in charge of illicit association, illegal trafficking of Guatemalans, probably children, illicit trafficking of people, and money laundering due to her possession of over 1 million quetzals. I guess that's their currency there, or about 130,000 US dollars. Yeah, I don't know what a quetzal is. And there is a video of them putting her ass in the helicopter. You're going to jail, lady. And I ain't mad. These sex traffickers are fixing to be in for a whole lot of door kicking in, and they just don't know it. They better shut down shop and look out, because it's coming. It's coming. I'm glad to see this happening. I'm waiting for them to bust in some doors somewhere and they find something awful like hundreds of people being held hostage in houses and stuff. These safe houses is going to be a big talked about thing that hasn't really been discussed yet, but we're fixing to find human trafficking organizations and safe houses and meat packing plants that hire kids in the middle of the night. A lot of this stuff is fixing to come out like you wouldn't believe in Twitter and YouTube. And Tom Holman, and hopefully people like me are going to be able to bring it to you. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy for this. Now, the CNN lady, oh, I forget her name, but she really had a bad day. Check this out.
And so what is happening as we speak is limited to those with criminal records?
That's the target of this operation. But like I said many times, in places like sanctuary cities where we can't arrest a bad person in the jail, we would like to have access to the jail to arrest a criminal alien in the safety and security of a county jail, which is safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. But when you release a public safety threat out of a sanctuary jail and won't give us access to him, that means we got to go to the neighborhood and find him. And we will find him. But when we find him, he may be with others. Others that don't have a criminal conviction but are in the country illegally, they will be arrested too, because we're not going to start, and this is the difference between the last administration and this administration. ICE is going to enforce the immigration law. There's nothing in the INA, the Immigration Nationality Act, says you got to be convicted of a serious crime in order to be removed from this country. So there's going to be more collateral arrests in sanctuary cities because they forced us to go in the community and find the guy we're looking for.
Let me just make sure that I understand what you're saying, because at first you said that the first targets are those with criminal records, but you are also saying that those who are undocumented in the U.S., also who don't have criminal records, people who are working in their communities, maybe even have spouses who are American citizens, they could be swept up with ICE today as well?
Yep.
What I'm telling you is when we go find our priority target, which is a criminal alien, if he's with others in the United States illegally, we're going to take enforcement action against him. We're going to enforce the immigration law.
What happens then? So the ICE officers gets an individual or a set of individuals and apprehends them. What next? What do these ICE officers do with them? Because in some cases, and you know this.
That's what I want to know. What happens after they apprehend them? They put them in a cage, and next step, get them out?
It's far better than I. They haven't been deported in the past because their country of origin won't take them.
Well, what happens after arrest? They're taken to an ICE office and they're processed and put in detention. While they're in detention, ICE officers work on travel documents. The host country sends travel documents saying, yeah, this is our citizen, this is our national. Then we make flight arrangements. So they could be in detention from a few days for a few weeks until that removal is made happen.
What if the
Few days to a few weeks. I'm glad to hear it.
host country doesn't want them, as has happened in the recent past?
We have various plans. We have various plans. Other countries are willing to take them. We have third safe country removals. So that's something we're working through. But I think you're going to see less of the recalcitrant countries. Countries don't take their citizens back under this president, because this president has vowed that these countries will take them back. So I'll leave that up to the White House. But there will be negotiations with those countries who are pushing back on recalcitrancy, and they will be removed.
India today said if they have anybody in America that is not here legally, they will gladly take them back. And I think every country will agree to that in the end versus Trump coming down on you with some ridiculous tariff that is not worth the trouble. That's what's really going to happen. Trump is going to force these other countries to do what he wants. Coming in there like a mob boss, and I ain't mad at him. Just like he said, 50% of TikTok will become part of U.S. property, and 50% of it will belong to whichever tech giant that buys it from China, because we don't want China to be in possession of it anymore. And it's $1 trillion investment. And Trump says, we'll take half. Elon or somebody else can buy the other half. The United States wants half just for being able to broker the deal, because without the regulations being lifted, TikTok's dead in the water. Power of the deal, folks. I love it. I love it. Trump is great at negotiating. You know, I actually run into a guy today at the store, and he said, "Oh, I love your hat." I said, "That's cool, thanks." He said, "We finally got a president in there worth voting for." I said, "You sure right about that?" He said, "I ain't never voted before." He said, "But I seen what happened to him this time, and he's the real deal." This black guy says he's a real American. He's looking out for the little guys like me and you. And I said, "Yeah, you're sure right." I said, "That's why the government gives him so much hell." He said, "You know it." And that was the end of our conversation. But just another somebody that was probably not very politically motivated in any way, shape, or form, and has just sat here and watched what our country has fallen into and who they tried to blame it on and how they treated Trump. If you're still one of these people that doesn't see the writing on the wall as to how we got where we're at today, you're in denial. And I'm just glad to be able to start up conversations with my hat. I've had several people uh, say good things about my hat, start up conversations about my hat, and then I've had people that just give me that look like there's something wrong with me because I'm wearing my hat. That's the ones that give them the big wave. Kill them with kindness, give them a big smile. That's what I do. I don't know. I'm having a great day. We won. Now, I wanted to show you this right here. A meme first. I thought this was awesome. This is Trump's meme he put out today. I thought that was pretty cool. Something else I want to talk to y'all about before I get out of here. It says, while you're worrying about who Joe Biden pardoned, the bigger story, the bigger question is, who didn't he pardon? And so I'm waiting for Twitter to come out with an elaborate list of all the crimes that everybody that didn't get pardoned allegedly are being or should be allegedly investigated for. There's a bunch of them, and some of these people that have been pardoned will be held, will have criminal charges thrown at them, but it will be on a state or a local level, or even a civil suit. See, they're not completely immune, so don't worry, folks. A lot of these folks are not going to get away with it. Not when we've got Cash Patel and Pam Bundy in there to be headhunters to take care of this problem. And I'm waiting for somebody on Twitter to bust out a several hundred people list of everybody that has wronged our country that could be held criminally liable at one point or another. And Tucker Carlson, talking about the deep state here, I think those are the people that need to be held criminally liable more than anybody else. The media are pretty bad, but it's the deep state. It's the people that are terrified of Trump. It's the people that are controlling the Uniparty. It's the people that control big pharma and big business and try to control Congress. These people are the ones that are terrified of Trump because he's not only going to shake things up, he is going to do things the way they don't want him to. He's going to do things off the cuff, and they like things to run their way only. I think that's why he's had 2 of these attempts against him already. Hopefully, no more. But last clip of the day, let's listen to a little bit of Tucker Carlson explain who the real problem in government is.
Members of Congress are terrified of the intel agencies. I'm not guessing at that. They've told me that, including people on the Intel Committee, including people who run the Intel Committee, the people whose job it is to oversee and keep in line these enormous, secretive agencies whose budgets we can't even know. They're black budgets. They're the parents. The agencies are the children. They're afraid of the agencies. That's not compatible with democracy. Democracy is a really simple system, even representative democracy like ours. The people rule. They do so through elections. They express their preference through voting. They send their people to the capital city to run the government on their behalf. Whenever you have unelected people who are not accountable to anyone making the biggest decisions, you don't have a democracy. You have something else, another system. I would call it a tyranny or whatever you want to call it.
It's an oligarchy.
Democracy. So that's like super obvious. It's playing out in front of everyone, and no one cares, and no one does anything about it. And I think the reason is because they're threatened. And if you look at the committee chairmen who allow this shit to happen year after year, they're all, and I don't know, people say, oh, they're compromised or being blackmailed or whatever. I don't have evidence of that, but I know them, and they all have things to hide. I know that for a fact. And so it's not a stretch of imagination to imagine that some committee chairman who's allowing warrantless spying on Americans to continue, or whatever abuse they're allowing, knowing fully or hiding the truth about UAPs, ignoring the UAP Disclosure Act of 2023. Like, why are they doing that? It's not impossible to imagine that some guy with a
UAPs, he's talking about unknown aerial phenomenon like, spaceships and drones and things in our skies that we don't have an explanation for, and our government doesn't seem to be asking the right questions about.
Drinking problem or a weird sex life, and that's very common up there. That's why they're doing it. Because they don't want to be exposed. I don't have evidence of that. I don't have proof of that.
Right.
But that's not a crazy thing to assume that could be happening. And I said to somebody, a very powerful person, the other day in a conversation in my kitchen, an elected official, holds a really senior position, a very famous person. I was going crazy. I was so mad about all this stuff. And about the warrantless spying and about the funding for these insane wars. And I said to the guy who serves in one of the legislative bodies, I got so mad my dogs were afraid. They're like, "Whoa, why are you yelling?" Because I don't yell at home. But I was like, all these people are controlled. They're all, got weird sex lives, and all these things are hiding, and they're being blackmailed by the intel agencies. And he said, and I'm quoting, "I know." It was like,
sounds like Tim Burchett. Tim Burchett has a couple of times come on Benny Johnson and just told off. He said, "You think they get alcohol brought to their offices and have fundraisers?" And I mean, it sounds like P Diddy parties going on to me, without the baby oil, maybe wrinkle parties of some kind. But I'm sure all them young staffers and them rich donors and the fundraising and the concierge game where they try to take care of each other on both ends because they're both getting something out of the deal, whether it be a lobbyist trying to get something, or maybe a politician trying to get something. It's a dirty business, no doubt about it. And if you are got something to hide and you're in Congress, there's somebody that's already got your number. And that's probably why you have to vote the way you do. And Tim Burchett has discussed this several times, just like Tucker Carlson. Tim Burchett says he's got the proof, but he's not going to go there because he don't want to oust anybody at this point. But it is what it is. A bunch of um, dirty old men and women, I'm sure, in the Congress doing God knows what. No telling whose white powder was found in that locker. To be honest with you, could have been anybody's at this point. But we know what goes on behind closed door chambers. Heck, they tried to vote themselves in a raise in the middle of the night, better medical care, and not tell us about it while they have a mini bar rolling around through Congress while the cameras are off. What does that say about the people that are running our country? Well, hopefully we'll get this shit all figured out and straightened out ASAP because Daddy's back. Trump is back in business. Trump 2025 is doing it, folks. I am so glad. I'm so enjoying this. I'm probably enjoying this way too much. The whole deportation process. Uh, just the sheer numbers of people dropping off the coming through the holes issue is amazing to me. And the more and more this gets ramped up, the more they'll see how much more help they'll need and how quick we can actually get this done. Can we in 4 years really make a huge dent on this problem? I think the answer is yes. If we just have the right people doing the job, and I think we've got that. That's what I got for you today, folks. Hopefully everybody had a great day. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. Over and out.